Take one. I think it was these four are really important, no.
I've seen, I've seen right there.
Yeah, so Tammy actually has some stuff. Whoever was kind of. Yeah, she'll be over here.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I like to find this in learning you.
That's a good question. I keep that in my mind. Thanks.
We still got six. We still got six.
You see that? Yeah, just read so much that for adoption. So. I think Brad's pretty well.
Adios, amigos.
Maybe we could bring Troy back and get some.
I got to go to the morning.
You get to see them play? Well, that was. You go to Pittsburgh?
Actually.
It was my daughter, surprise. My birthday was surprise at
Really?
We were right along. We were running on one of the bends, right? We saw it.
Yeah.
No problem. What about what actually?
Are you asking for something else like?
Yes, I was looking for where. You don't come out of that side. On that side. Yeah.
I do it. That's why.
Yeah. You So I have seen what's the reason for this year. Well, the pressure. Tonight. And moderate hearing loss of the ear, mild hearing loss of the ear, so I'm getting used to. That's well for,
So I need to. Won't say we got one, say I.
You need to have that conversation.
Are they interacting with you are?
That night. It is annoying. Sometimes you notice, sometimes you don't. I can notice it right now. It's too late. I think we should. So I just said. It's a constant reminder about this situation. So I did.
Did everybody sign in? Thank you.
County here, so I didn't go to county.
Well, you know, that we tell you this year is that moderate fuel. But I must be getting there. That doesn't help. Now you get leaving this. Does that help you? No. It doesn't help me at all. No. Well, people try to put something to me up there. I have no idea what you say. He's like, Orion. Yes, right. Yes. I don't know if you they pick up some of that.
Yeah. Hey. This is the new line. Right. Not too far away.
I think he does. He's only down the road. We classes, so. Yeah. Once the assignments start coming due, then critical. It's in Rochester, New York. Right outside of it, yeah, it's gonna be.
Oh, you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 minutes, so I just sometimes.
That's good.
I'll find out where.
That'd be great. We have. But while that's something.
Everybody signed in?
Yeah, that'd be great.
And that way. You signed in? You got signed in? Okay.
Yeah, those are, those out there.
Well, I go to one of the churches down there. On Western Church.
Okay.
And that's who we have to go. That's where we went to be. He's
And
What's it do? Keep
it should.
Get a feel. He did say- Yes, I think that's his after that, he's kind of lost all his friends. He's moved on.
But if you want to where you stand, maybe I'll try it. All right, maybe we'll take All right, at 6 o'clock, I'd like to welcome you all to the September 5th, 2024 Greensburg Town Council meeting. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me come and share with you in prayer. I do want to invite people to the upcoming spaghetti dinner that we're having at Greater Impact. It's on the 22nd from 1 to 3. It is a fundraiser dinner and there's a silent auction. Come enjoy some good food and then buy some stuff if you don't mind. Would you join me as we pray? Our gracious and loving God, we thank you for another day and another season of the year. Lord, we acknowledge that every day is a gift from you and the seasons change, but you do not. And we're so thankful that you are the same yesterday, today, and forever. We ask for wisdom and guidance as our council meets tonight. Lord, guide their thoughts, guide their words, and may all that is done here be beneficial to this community and to all who are in need. We pray, Father, for this month that many communities in our area, including Caroline County, are going purple for substance abuse awareness and prevention. We pray right now, Lord, for those who are in the throes of addiction, those who are seeking recovery, and those who are helping those get out of the constant spiral of addiction. Lord, we pray your touch upon each one. And again, Lord, we just thank you for your presence in this place. Help us, Lord, to work together for the common good. We pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Blue. I assume that the council has reviewed the meeting minutes from August 15th, 2024 meeting. I will look for a motion to approve.
I'll go ahead and make that motion for approval of August 15th, 2024 meeting minutes.
As written. Second. And a second, is there any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. The next item is the public security item on the agenda.
Can I,
I guess you just did.
can we do this? I have an add-on and I would like to get them in and out before any discussions start, if that's possible.
Okay.
For the, Caroline County Historical Society, if you want to come up, sure. You can explain it better. They will be moving the building down there that belongs to Caroline County Historical Society, so.
So we'll just walk up here.
If you just introduce yourself, please.
I'm okay, it's like, I'm Kathy Schwab.
I'm Rick Schwab.
We're with Ridgely Historical Society and yes, we are also with Caroline County Historical Society.
Kathy is the secretary and I'm the vice president.
Okay.
Look, we cannot join another thing, let me just tell you that. It's very exciting, but we're very busy. So what we would like to, we're here as a courtesy, Rick's gonna pass this out. There is a cabin down the street. You probably have all seen it. Did you know that it really didn't originate in this county? It came from Delaware years and years ago. Probably right around the bicentennial 1976. It was advertised in that book, which looks like this. Excuse me, I cut some of it off in my haste. But there is a little picture of it, and it looks like it was brought in piece by piece by piece. So you can see that very clearly in the new Historic Society, the brick building on one side, and then the side of this little old building here. Well, it's been there for quite a long time. Caroline County has no plans for it in the future. It is deteriorating. It has some termite damage. We happened to find a person in Ridgely that was interested in moving it to his property. And where that is, thank goodness, it's still gonna stay in Caroline County, but it will be on the Marblehead Farm. And just to give them a little plug, they raise beef. So you can look them up Facebook, they go to Easton, to the market, and all very nice people. They've renovated Marblehead again. I mean, it has been renovated, several times, but they've done a wonderful job with it. Very caring people. And they would like to have it on their property. Exactly where, I don't know. That would be up to him. The things that are going to happen is, if you ask me, I don't know how he's taking it down. There would be a little bit of a problem with the chimney because when they moved it here, they had to use new mortar for some reason. And that's hard to try to get the whole building together. It's just not gonna work. So, and he can't even chip it away, is what I understand from him. So he may have to take that down entirely. Then any questions after that? I am not one of those people that moves buildings anytime in my future or past. So if you would have any questions, he would certainly come up to town hall. If you had questions for him, you could call him. We know that it's on a state highway here, so he's gonna have to find permits and do what he needs to do. Possibly, depending on what vehicle he's going to use, he's gonna take it down piece by piece. Maybe that would not interfere with traffic, I don't know, but this is something he's going to have to contact you all with. As I said before, we are very happy that somebody's interested in it. We know that it has been here for many years. But just to let you know, it's not leaving Caroline County and that it never originated here. It was in Delaware, brought here. And that's more or less, not really the end of it, but it's a cute little
Oh,
cabin.
yeah, it was bought in 76 and they had a dedication in 80, so it took them 4 years to actually, I guess, put it together.
It's like, take
So,
your
so,
choice.
so it has been here for a while, so we understand.
Yes.
But we just are not, have any plans in our future for it. They're gonna restore the building, they're gonna save the building.
Which we are very happy with.
In fact, we've
So,
been doing a lot of lawn cutting and replacing broken window just from Ridgely ourselves. We just
yeah,
come over.
we
and-
just scoot over here every once in a while to take a look at it. So if you have any questions, like I said, I can have, Mr. Aslan, call. If you have any questions, call me and then I can get a hold of him. We can be the mediators. But it is going to a good home. And if he has to take it down piece by piece, he doesn't care. He just wants this little building. He just thinks it's really neat. So if there's anything I can answer now, other than I don't move buildings, that's about.
The only question that I would have is, who owns the property that it sets on and what would happen to that property once the building is vacated?
Well, the property is owned by the Caroline County Historic Society. When the Goldsboro House was sold he sold it in 75 to the Caroline County Historic Society. And then they have it near the H&H Builders, actually, then they sold it to them for $20,000. And for that, he built that building there.
Brick building.
That brick building, which has been the Greensboro Museum until 2020. Because it was given to them to use as a museum back when became a chapter in 2003.
You're talking about the one behind Harry's?
I'm
Yeah,
talking about
the old Harry's.
The old Harry's building, right, so that was given there, so that property is, and he gave a lot of, so the Caroline County Society got the building from Goldsboro. They sold the H&H, and with that, they promised a portion of land was given back to the Caroline County Society, which is where that cabin is and that brick building is. And he promised to build that building, and that's been used. Right now, we have no, we're using it right now as more or less a depository for
Some
the
storage.
Washington College. They're doing the archaeological dig, so we're letting them use that building. Other than that, once they're done, we're not sure what we're going to do with it. I'm not even sure if we can sell it. I don't know with Eastman because of the property being so narrow. I don't even, what guidelines you'll have in Greensboro, but, right
So-
now,
No immediate plans
Yeah, no
for,
immediate
once the building is gone. It may be a shock to some people to drive by, you can actually look down there now and see another building. But there are no immediate plans to do. We still have storage there, which we, want to continue. But we know it would probably and will probably be a shock to some people, but we just want everybody to know it's going to a good home. And somebody's going to restore it, and that's what we're all about. So, and then, well, go
I
ahead.
assume that he has reached out to the adjoining neighbors, just so they understand what's happening, when they start seeing people couldn't show up, what's going on.
Exactly. I will probably do that to the lady in the Goldsboro house because she's been very nice to let us use her driveway to come in to get to the brick building.
Right.
So we can probably type up a little note for them, put it on the door if they're not there. We would certainly want to do
and
that.
we'll speak to Denise and the Greensboro Historic Society.
Yes.
And, we just, it doesn't look like that.
It's
Well,
not,
salvage the
There's
building.
history, and I know that the house that you speak of on Marblehead, I drive by there quite frequently, and it is very nice.
it
Right.
is.
And they just recently put up a lot of fencing on where they're raising.
Right.
Yes.
And like I said, they're paying for the move, they're paying for the restoration. It's like Caroline County Authority doesn't just have any money to allocate to that building and.
At this time, no, we have other projects I don't want to tell you about, yes.
And now we've made the assumption that the town of Greensboro or the Greensboro Historic Society also does not have any money put into it. So
I mean,
if we're wrong in that assumption, please let us know. But, that's, right now, we didn't actually seek him out. He was actually driving through town, saw it and said, he was thinking of putting a building similar to that. But the fact that he has one there and can relocate it would even be better, yes.
And then one last thing, Ridgely train station will be open for its last final open house this Saturday. Rick and I will be, of course, we'll be in there. So from 10 to 1 o'clock. And then I want you all to know also that anytime you would like to go in, it's not open house. You can find our phone number on Facebook, give us a call. If we're in town, we will take you in and drag you around there and just tell you some more history that's right down the street.
She has a 10-minute tour and an hour and a half.
You know,
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you all so much.
Okay.
Mr. Bill has a question.
Can we ask a question?
Yes, yes, you can.
Is the building, when it's moved, gonna be open to the public?
That we do not know. Well, you'll probably be able to see it. I don't know. We don't know where he's gonna put it on the property.
Is that gonna be determined before this move takes place?
We will ask that question to him.
Okay, can I get him's phone number?
I'm sorry.
Do you have the man's phone number?
Yes.
Can I have it?
Well, I don't have it on me. I'm sorry. But I mean, I can give it to the town. You can get it from them if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
Yeah.
And also, have you even given the courtesy to talk to Grangeville Historical Society?
We are doing that next. Mhm, mhm. I have to tell you, I have been so busy. I'm lucky I know where I am right now. But this has all come about in the last couple of weeks, and so we have just been moving like crazy. The big thing is, as they say, I don't want this fish to get off the line, you know what I'm saying? He is so excited to have this cabin, and so that's what's
Well,
happening.
one thing, I think it would be important to know if it's gonna be available for people to be able to go in and see or not. That would be a great
Yes, like I
question.
said,
Yes.
we're gonna be contacting Denise and talk to her.
Sooner
Yes.
you can get the number for him to the town,
Well,
that I
here.
can get.
You email us and we will get you the number. Okay.
Okay.
All right, again, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, back to the agenda of public security. As the town residents may be aware, the Greensboro Police Department is unfortunately down to one officer at this time. While we are actively recruiting officers and are engaged with outside law enforcement agencies to assist with proactive patrol for the immediate future, we have not made it a definitive decision on the future of the Greensboro Police Department and wish to hear from the public on that matter. While we greatly appreciate the work of Chief Troms and hope that our relationship with him continues long into the future, the current public safety demands are too much for a one-person police department to handle. In addition, the mayor and council must consider the increasing cost of retaining a police department and the struggles caused by a shortage of police officers and police applicants throughout the state. Prior to making a long-term decision, such as hiring additional police officers or establishing a more concrete relationship with the sheriff's department, we want to hear the needs and desires of the public, which is why we're providing this opportunity. We will listen to all comments and suggestions and take all of those into consideration. We will not be making a decision tonight. And I'll open up the public comment in a few minutes, but at first, I'd like to turn the Tammy, so you have some information to talk about the public safety of the council.
Well, I gave you, the current, calendar that has the coverage from the sheriff's department. I gave you the exact names of the deputies, and I gave you a potential 4, scenarios for where we could go as far as the police department. I think it would be best for you to look that over, hear what the residents have to say, and then determine how much more information you need from residents, or how you want to proceed from there.
So what Tammy is referring to is, we have reached out to the Caroline County Sheriff's Department, and they're currently hiring their deputies as a part-time basis on overtime to help cover some of the needs that we have in the community to have officers patrolling the area. So that's what that's about.
And that's, just to note, that's, out of what Jake was making, so.
Yeah.
It's not anything additional.
So does anybody on the council have any comments, questions? I want to hear from the public. Go ahead. Alright. So I'm gonna open up now the meeting to the public comment portion for, pertaining to just this public safety issue. And we'll be allowing the usual 3 minutes per person. If you have additional comments, suggestions, or questions that you'd like the council to consider, please forward them by email to the town manager at kcolitas@greensboromd.com. She will forward them to the council. Well, that's T. Colitas, excuse me. All right. Yes, Mike Cooper, please.
I feel such that- You don't need my microphone, I speak loud enough.
Fine.
I don't feel that handling this tonight, when we're just getting bits and pieces of information, we haven't seen the paperwork that's being passed around up there. I think we deserve more time to review all of the pertinent information before we bring our comments to this room.
These are for initial comments, so that there can be more forms.
We need more information to be able to make more informed statement.
You know that we're down to 1 officer.
No, I found that out tonight. I found that out tonight.
I know that's not true.
How do you know that's not true?
Okay,
So anyway,
so this-
you got enough information.
This is public comment.
I do not have enough information. I don't see the paper that you've passed to the council.
Right, anybody else like to make public comment?
Are we going in order or?
All you gotta do is raise your hand.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Please come to the microphone. please.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. I think I said this 4 months ago, this exact topic. It's great that we have trams, great, you can stick around 3 years contract, all that good stuff. Paying for additional services through Sheriff Baker, Caroline County, whatever, makes absolutely 0 sense. Our tax dollars that we pay on houses, on our property tax, already pay for him. So he's basically double dipping, like I've said 100 times. So that makes 0 sense. The money can be allocated towards loans and other resources for the town of Greensboro. Yes, we have 1 officer, but it's basically just a matter of enforcing the schedule or enforcing the sheriff to do his job. And again, you can reach out to state police, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to help. I had a 2-hour meeting with the town manager and the attorney about a lot of different issues. And again, complete waste of money, just enforce what he owes us for our tax dollars. No point in paying him twice. I can't even say that enough times, so, police don't, no offense to trams, police do not, deter crime. They investigate after the fact. You could have 20 police officers here and they can make a difference. Someone's still gonna break into a house at night, still gonna rob from a store or whatever, and then he can investigate after the fact. So additional officers, things like that, long term makes 0 sense. Again, I just think that the town of Greensboro just needs to strictly enforce. Either you gotta go to the commissioner, the state, whatever you gotta do, just to enforce what we already pay for. So I'll leave it at that.
All right, thank you. So, Polly, I think you make part of a good point in that, the options, I think, are obvious, should be obvious to all of us, and I'll state them so that all of you have a little better understanding. One, we continue having our own police department and manning that, to the best of our abilities and have our own police department. The second option would be to, work in conjunction, with the sheriff's department, which we're doing temporarily, to fill the spots that we don't have now for our own office. The third option would be to enter into some type of contractual agreement, such as that other towns in the county have reached with the sheriff's department, so they then would be responsible for patrolling the town with us paying for those deputies. And then the fourth option would be for us to close our police department, not enter any agreement with the sheriff's department, and turn the town over to the sheriff's department and the Maryland State Police. Patrol as they permit.
Option 4, voted right here.
So,
But
That's
of
kind of
those,
where we
but of those options, where is the breakdown of cost, of savings? If number 4 is voted in, if that's what the town wants, show us how that budget, that money that's budgeted will be allocated back into our town. I want numbers.
At some point, when we decide to make a decision, we'll have those numbers available for people to see, because obviously you can't make an informed decision without knowing some costs that are associated with which option.
Correct.
Okay, but tonight, we're not making a decision, and we're not making a decision in anywhere near future.
But in order for us to
What
have a
we're
vote,
trying to,
we need to have
I
all
understand
the.
that, but what we're trying to get tonight, Paula, is a general feeling for what you as a citizen want us to do. Do you want us to keep our police department? Do you want us to work somehow with the sheriff's department?
But
Do you
I need
want
a
us to
breakdown
contract?
of what is going to help our town and our citizens.
I understand.
Okay, So let's just move
Separate
on.
money,
Let's
separate
call to
money.
order and let's just move on.
Can I ask one question or no?
Sure.
Okay, so just to add on to my statement real quick, the sheriff's department already does all the investigations now, pretty much, number one, and number two, if somebody was to go to jail, they're gonna go to the Caroline County Sheriff's Department. So, again, I've, laid out a more of a business plan type thing with the town attorney and the town manager that makes perfect sense, and hopefully you guys review that information.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. Bill?
Yes,
Could
sir.
you come up to the mic, please?
Couple of questions. I would like to find out what specific responsibilities the county has to the town as far as policing, if any. Is that something we can get our attorneys to look into and tell us the county's responsible to do X, Y, and Z, or do they have no responsibility?
I think that would be a perfect question for the sheriff himself.
Well, our attorney should know that too, or find it out. It's gotta be law. So yes.
This is Carly. Sorry, I'm just a voice. Our office can look into it. I'm sorry, I'm out of town tonight, so I'm attending by Zoom.
That would be an important thing for us to know.
Okay.
What are his actual responsibilities for getting paid for extra time from the county? What are his responsibilities? My second question is there any possibility that you would get an independent agency to do the policing in the town? Is that a possibility? And I know you probably don't know that right now.
I don't know of any such thing. You'd have to have a certified Maryland law enforcement officer to enforce the laws in Maryland.
Right, so are there any?
There are no such thing that I'm aware of. All certified law enforcement officers work for a police agency. To my knowledge,
Under a contract, most likely, yes.
they're employed by that municipality or county or state.
All right, that's what I'd like to know. I'd like to know what the responsibilities are already in place then for the county to help police the area. We should know that.
All right, we'll try to find out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody? So I just want all of you to know that we're trying to be as transparent as we can with this situation. And we truly want the input from the citizens, because this is a big decision. This is a huge decision. And we don't have all the information tonight. We were just trying to give everybody, since it's new, it's fresh, it just happened. We're all trying to struggle with it and grasp and what to do. You know, what's our best responsibility to you as a citizen, and what do you think is the best way to go? Because there's only so many options, and we want to try to do what we think is the most appropriate for everybody. Yes, Mr.
Well, I'm not gonna go, just one other quick thing. I thought at one point we had an officer in training.
At one point we did, but that was some time ago.
Yeah, what happened?
He got hurt. He got hurt. He get hurt. He did not finish the academy.
He's out of the
He's
picture.
gone. Just so you know, I mean, hiring a new police officer takes chief Crumbs about 3 months for the application and background process, which is very involved now. There is a checklist mandated from the state of Maryland that the police department, the police chief, he must do, and he checks off saying by penalty that he did all those, or she did all those things. Then they go to a police academy for 6 months, and if they graduate, then they have to serve 240 hours, is it, chief?
Yes, sir.
Training with a certified police officer, they have to ride with them. So, 3 months, 6 months, 3 months, that's almost a year before you start with somebody, before they're out on the street giving you a product, if you understand. That's what it amounts to in getting a new police officer. And in today, if you read the newspaper or listening to the news, every law enforcement agency in the state of Maryland is hurting for police officers, because there's just not that many people want to do the job anymore. So everybody's struggling.
Can I do that, Mayor?
Sure.
The mayor brought up, a good point. If you put somebody through the academy, it takes about a year. When you hire them, after to do the background for the 9 months that they really aren't much good, to you, you're paying their salary and their health insurance.
Sure.
So it's, all of it is an additional cost. So yes, the mayor did say it's a struggle, but there's additional cost to hiring a entry-level police officer. So, just being transparent, you're paying their salary while they're in the academy, and then while they're riding around, field training for 2.5 months, you're paying their salary until they have to go out, on their own.
Kind of think we know some of that.
Yes.
It's pretty obvious that you would be paying him while he's in his training. That's kind of normal. What we don't know, what we don't know just yet. To be honest with you, it's hard to ask questions and bring things up with it just coming up now. And I understand why. It's not a criticism. It's.
This is only the beginning of the discussion, and where the council is right now, and you folks correct me if I'm wrong, I always end up having to do all the talking, but where we are right now is that we have instructed the chief to continue with the applications that he has on file and continue looking for we'd like to get a certified applicant, somebody who is already trained in the state of Maryland, so it wouldn't take us long to get that person on board. It wouldn't take long for them to hit the streets and start doing police work. A recruit, as we just told you, takes at least a year before to get on the street. So we've asked him to look at that. And in the meantime, we're also supplementing our police department with the sheriff's department deputies, which we're paying for them to come in here and patrol. Now, when they come in here, they're staying here. They're not patrolling the county. They're only patrolling the town. They're acting quasi as the Greensboro police officer.
That's in place now.
Or a deputy sheriff. Pardon me?
That started.
Yes, that has already started. And we have them scheduled through the end of this month already. The sheets have been filled out. We're obviously not gonna release the dates and times at that time, for public safety,
What's the cost per month?
It is $75 an hour.
Damn. Need to be a police officer.
The county's rate, that's set by the county.
Doing it,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's workman's comp, that's uniform.
Oh, yeah, I get it, I get it.
Gas, insurance.
I get it.
It's all in there.
It's all in.
Last thing, would the council consider once questions that have been asked this evening, you get the answers to? Just like the special meeting that we did about the budget, maybe we could put together a special meeting to present the information to us?
Well.
I mean, because we're already 29 minutes into our regular monthly meeting and we're still talking about the same thing.
They can discuss that, and then I think we probably would have the answer for you at the 19th meeting or next meeting.
Okay.
Because nothing's gonna happen before then, other than the sheriff's deputies will still be filling in.
Mhm.
Who else? Kevin, you had your hand, I'm sorry.
So. They're talking about the police and he made the comment that if Dan was here, chief was here and somebody's breaking into Bodie's. What's the burglar gonna call Dan and say, hey, I'm getting ready to break in because you said all he's gonna do is investigate it. Well, that's all he can do after, at the fact anyway, so. I don't know where you come up with that, but what I'm getting at is the county gives this town, what is it, 0.06 or 006% differential to help with the police.
Yeah, the tax break, I get it.
So you're asking about all this money. Well, the county's already giving you money, so you're just giving it back to them. So I think personally, I've been around here pretty much all my life. I don't want to see the police department closed up. Chief's doing the best he can. If you want to fuss about the police department, call your legislators and your senators for the state of Maryland and tell them to give them their Bill of Rights back and you're the police department. Until then, you're not gonna get nobody, because I'm not going out there and wrestle with anybody and knowing as soon as I touch you, you can sue me for everything.
I absolutely agree with you.
So I don't get.
Why you shouldn't have one?
So what?
Why have the liability?
So what are you gonna do?
Have the sheriff enforce what he's already supposed to be doing and the state
Sheriff has
police.
no jurisdiction in your town. The chief is the law
It's
of this
Caroline
town.
County.
I don't
They
care.
can pull someone
I
over
don't
and give
care.
them a ticket right here.
Read your charter. The sheriff does have no grounds in this town. The chief is the man. The chief can say, we have open carry in this town. And you know what? We have open carry.
You might wanna read the charter.
I do. I know.
Okay.
I know all about it. I
Read it.
know all about the
Read it.
Constitution, the federal and the state.
Read it.
Alright, that's good, that's good, that's good.
You just need to call for order.
Thank-
That's what you say with Robert's rules.
Thank you.
You call for
Thank
order.
you.
You're welcome.
Now what I will.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Anybody else would like to make a public comment? All right, well, thank you for your, yes,
Yeah. So when you guys are looking into the other police officers, are you looking to fully staff your police, or are you just looking for one officer right now? With this,
Well, this isn't public comment, but it's.
well, what he's looking to do is they were looking to fill our allotment, which is three, in the budget, we have for 3 officers.
my question was because if we only get in one officer, are we gonna stick with the sheriff's department overtime that?
Those decisions have not been yet been made. I mean, I mean,
When we had 2 officers,
quick,
we did not,
you know,
when we had 2 officers here, we did not ask the sheriff's department to come in and fill in. Correct. If that's what you're asking.
the whole decision process is fluid. Right now, I mean, just got dumped in our laps when the officer suddenly resigned, and so here we are. Now, what do we do? All right, so nobody else has any further public comment, and I'll close that, and we'll move on with our department reports now. And we'll get back to you with the information in our next meeting.
We had Brandon, Jamie and I had a meeting with Pinnaman Meadows, D.R. Horton. And I don't remember the name of the engineering firm, or something. The revised erosion and sediment control plan has been approved. And that's for the properties on. Well, in Kingdom Meadows, it's Parkland, and it butts up to the current property on Bernard Avenue. Right now, they are anticipating starting the stormwater management work. Probably 3 or 4 weeks. And then, D.R. Horton will probably start building sometime in November. But because of the stormwater management issues, they are now going to move the beginning, builds to the opposite side of Parkland Road. Still the same amount of homes, but
So that means, for those of you in the public, that the property that abuts to those residents on Bernard, it won't be abutting their property, starting across
across the
the
road,
street in their development on the other side.
yeah. There will be work along that line, but the houses won't be built yet. And there's, I think it's 4 lots that are really low. The plan is apparently to maybe do a little fill, but they're gonna have them as walkout basements. So how they determine that, once they have to put a swell in and all this different drainage, so it'll be a little time consuming on that part.
So. Is her property gonna get flooded? Because of their wastewater?
No,
their
they're
current
putting,
plan?
was it? Well,
Swell. So the library, up where the assistant living is gonna go,
Okay,
they're putting a catch basin up there about halfway down, it's going towards the water tower. They're gonna put another catch basin. Then they got it actually, it's a pretty big swale that will go down. Everything's gonna tie in down about 3/4 of the way. There's already a basin there.
we got,
Yeah. And it's gonna feed it right now. The ponds are actually holding water right now, but they won't be holding water. And it'll be released once Caroline County signs off, it says everything's good, so.
I know there's been a big concern for all of us, you know, and I've been out there and
I just, every time we come to a meeting, they're revising their erosion and settlement control plan, so every time we come to a meeting, it's like they're making changes. And I'm thinking, are we changing for the better, or are we still gonna end up with property? and
They're
flooding over
for
the
the better. They actually had MDE out there this last meeting, going through a checklist, to make sure that they were all
Okay.
aware of
I
everything.
just wanted to drain properly. I
And
don't want-
to elaborate just a little bit more on that, the original plans were back. They've changed some rules and regulations for, erosion.
Brandon, these plans have changed over the last 20
No,
years.
no, but that's why it just changed.
Like every meeting, we get a new plan.
he's talking about the
I know.
county plan.
Yeah, the county's
Some
one
of the rules
change.
and regulations have changed.
We've been working with them to hold their feet to the fire, because we don't want to have a situation where the development is built and then there's drainage issues after they've long gone away. Yeah, we went through that back where you live.
Yeah.
So we don't want to go down that road again. So we're not engineers. We're not specialists for that kind of stuff, but we're trying to hold their feet to the fire, and when they tell us, promise us, assure us, that's bad.
Well, I know there's some concerns, about some of the properties along,
If I
Bernard.
was there, I'd be concerned. too.
Yeah, so, well, as far as property line, so
Well,
I told Miss Donna that we'll try to sit down with the engineers and,
Can we ask a question about D.R. Horton real quick? Just a curiosity question. This is just curiosity. Once the development's actually built, 20 years from now, are they gonna have an HOA that regulates their own?
Yes.
So it doesn't look like a dump?
They have it.
I was just asking.
Yeah.
Alright.
we submitted a letter of intent to apply for an enough grant, which is engaging neighborhoods, organizations, unions, governments, and households. And this, the ultimate goal of this, initiative is to end child poverty and to increase economic mobility. It is a 3-track program. If we are selected, we will be applying for the first tier. And that's basically building up partnerships around Greensboro that would help, get us to create programs or whatever is needed, whatever we decide our focus areas to, help with the children and their growth. And one of our main focuses is, food insecurity, which is a big problem with children, so, and I know we have a big language barrier, so that type of, partnership is going to be important when we are putting this all together, so we will update as we go along. I think most everybody knows, public hearing for Goldsboro sewer rate increases will be, September 19th, same time at the Greensboro Volunteer Fire Company
So our next meeting will be
Community Center.
at there. Yeah.
I had a meeting with DBF, regarding the lead and copper inventory. They, we went through and reviewed all the documents or all the addresses that they had questions on. And they are going to finalize their report that gets submitted. This is all mandated by the EPA, and it's going to be long-term and ongoing. At eventually, once we get to the point where our reports go into the feds, we will start sending information pieces out to the public, because at some point, if there's questions regarding your water lines, whether they have any lead or copper, they will ask to come onto your property to check them. This is national, so we don't have a choice, but they did say that once it gets to the point where we would have to redo the lines if there are lead, that there would be grant funding available, it won't be at the expense of time.
Or the expense of of the home.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Can I ask you a question? You might not have an answer right now, but when you do grants, have you ever had any grants for the town that would benefit the seniors for a certain a percentage or whatever for to help their homes, like for repairs or for a roof or for basic things?
We have not, but I will check on them.
Just curious.
Yes.
Thanks. Sorry.
We have been selected as top 5 in best of the best for Chesapeake. We have Whoville was nominated in best seasonal attraction and best local events. The Greensboro Car Show Music Fest was nominated for best family amusement and best festival. And the Greensboro Police Department Community Youth Basketball Program was nominated for best youth athletics facility. And voting on that starts or has started. The date. Yeah, I think it begins next week, so if anybody enjoys the events that we put on, please.
How do we vote?
You go on to Chesapeake to,
Is this online?
we are going to put out on Facebook, there is
Link.
a code that you can, it'll take you directly there, so we would appreciate it. Brandon and Dawn and I will be graduating from the Academy for Excellence in Local Governance in September 22nd at University of Maryland. City Planning and Zoning, they didn't have a meeting in August. Most of the board was on vacation. There's been several requests for residents who want to subdivide properties, so Jamie's working with them on that. We are looking over building permit applications and any paperwork that will go along with it in preparation for the building permit applications that will be coming in from D.R. Horton, so that we asked them to give a bit of a lead time for those. Jamie and Brandon have been doing rental inspections. The application and affidavit for administrative search warrant.
I wanna make a comment on that. So I know some people wonder why Brandon's riding around with Jamie doing these rental inspections. And I will tell you, it's for her safety. They went to one recently where, thank God Brandon was with her, is all I'm gonna say. And we don't want to send her out there in harm's way, so if you see them riding around together, they're out there, he's with her for a reason, that's for her protection. We don't need to send the police with her. If we think we do, then we would. But we just don't want her going and knocking on somebody's door that we really don't know what's gonna happen when the door opens, so that's just an FYI.
There is a house or property in town that has outbuildings that are filled with people.
Illegals.
So we have, Lindsay puts, did an application and affidavit for administrative search warrant. It was taken to the court to have the judge sign it. They would not let Brandon sign it, so we are putting Amanda's name on it as code enforcement, and it will be taken back for them to do, and then once that is signed, the inspector, Jamie and or Amanda and Chief Thomas will go in there and take a look around and see what's in there.
While you're on that, I don't see it on your note, but aren't we going to court on September the tenth?
That is for the vehicles out.
On West Sunday?
Yes. That's Amanda and Lindsay will be going for that. Hopefully there will be a resolution because it has gone on long enough.
And just so you know, I mean, a lot of you complain about that as I ride by it every day. It's taken us a year to get this to the court system. Right? We weren't dragging our people. Knock on wood. Nothing will happen on the 10th.
Next is the Car Show and Music Fest was incredible. I will let Brandon give more information. I did have the budget numbers available. It was after all expenses, there is a profit of $6,417.60, and that will go towards the basketball program and the sensory equipment, so that is the hard work of bringing in $24,600 in the sponsors. So that was fantastic, great partnerships. Brandon and Amanda put a lot of work into it, so if you were able to go out there, they deserve a thank you. Cops and Bobbers and Kids in the Park is coming up on the 28th. The Cops and Bobbers start at what time?
Well, 8 o'clock registration, 10 o'clock, 11 fishing. It'll be done by noon.
And following that would be the Kids in the Park, so Chop Tank Park will be quite full and busy. They're getting prepared for the coat drive, and crazy as it is, starting the initial process for Hugo.
I have a question in reference to Whoville. Do we know what the dates are? The only reason I asked is I had a lady stop me at Kidden, Miss Grace, and she asked, is the date that weekend after Thanksgiving?
Yes.
She was like, I'm not gonna be home, we're not, a lot of people are gonna be out, can you,
Well, there's
Right.
yeah, there's plenty of dates. I think the reason that weekend was selected is often families will have family members come in and they're looking for things to do, and so that will be available. There will be a, one night set aside that will be strictly for rural residents. Cause I know there were times, especially last year, the numbers were so big that people turned around and didn't go, so. Greensboro Connects, the food pantry We'll be receiving donations from Save-A-Lots and the Greensboro and Ridgely Dollar Generals. We have a new connection, which is Save Station, and they will be utilizing, space each week. We're trying to get that imported. Coordinated with food pantry, so,
They were here today.
yeah, so they kill two birds with one stone. If they have transportation issues, they can have their appointment with Safe Station and get food. Amanda is working on grants, Center for Waterway Improvement and Infrastructure, which is improvements to the entrance and parking out at Top Tank. Part, on the way to the boat ramp, because it's in desperate need. She's submitted a grant for additional funding and assistance on the, inclusive playground equipment out at Justice Sutton. And she is looking for other grants that would help with more amenities, finish some, paving the streets, do work on sidewalks, maybe get sidewalks put in where there's a safer passage for children, because there's quite a gap on the way to the school that it's been an area of concern, so we're looking for grants for that. I think that's the end of mine. So, Brandon?
Done?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Anybody
Fine.
have any questions for Tammy?
Carly is on Zoom, I don't know if she has anything.
Yes, Carly, do you have anything?
Hi, nothing from me, thank you.
Thank you. Chief Charles.
Well, you guys are ready whenever, everything else.
Oh, your thunder, huh?
It's all right, had quite a few, cases, I think I talked about a fraud case last month. We had, just another one that came to the lobby. On Sunday. This citizen, he lived out of town, however, you can report a fraud anywhere in the state. So I took that report, somebody reached out to the citizen who doesn't live in the town, Greensboro. That on Facebook, and he posted as Elon Musk. Swindled, this guy had a picture of Elon Musk. And swindled him out of $750, saying that he won $40,000 and he could choose a Tesla car, send pictures of the car, so just be aware. Elon Musk is not going to reach out to you on Facebook and say that you want all this, all this stuff. Very unfortunate, but.
He would
You
do that.
Huh?
So you would use Twitter.
Yeah, not Facebook. So these kind of things are out there every day. They use, tons of scams. If anybody would like to learn, about them, I can certainly, meet you, at the police department. We can have like a meeting. I can tell you all the scams that are out there, especially for the middle-aged and elderly. That's usually who they target. I'm only down to one person, so traffic has not been a top priority because now I'm doing everything else. But we have had quite a few traffic stops, patrol checks. We've assisted EMS and fire 7 times this month. So we've kind of stayed as busy as I can. As we try to tell people, everybody wants to call the PD, talk to me. Or a Greensboro police officer, we don't work 24 hours a day, we never have. I would certainly urge people to please, if you have any type of non-emergency. You can try to call the Greensboro PD at the 410-482-6771, but the best phone number is the county dispatch, which is 410-479-2515. If we're working, they'll simply send us. If we're not working, then they will send the next agency that is in rotation. When we're off, one call goes to state police, the next call goes to the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, the next call goes to the state police. So they alternate calls. If anyone, is not sure that we're working, I would just call the central dispatch number and they will give you the appropriate agency.
Emergency dial.
Yeah, if you have emergency, dial 911. Everyone's emergency, it's different, but if you feel like you have one, certainly dial, 911. We had that situation where somebody tried to call me at the office and then my work phone, I was off duty, I was in bed. So, but whatever doubt, just call dispatch and they will send the appropriate agency to help you. Had some concerns about 110-1 Maple Avenue. Reached out to the state's attorney and the Caroline County Social Services. They are trying to find some resources for the resident at that location. I just spoke to the supervisor of Caroline County again today. Just like anything else, it's such a process, they have to send it to the the warden, and then, you get trickled down, so that is being addressed there. I looked into the noise ordinance. Our town does not have a specific noise ordinance for generators. They have like cars and construction equipment. So I spoke to the state or the county, the prosecutor. He said if our town doesn't have it, look into the county. So I was emailed the county code on noise. And in order to enforce that, you need to have a decibel meter and be there and to see if the noise exceeds the decibel rating, 75 decibel during the day, 65 decibels during the night. So that's a process as well. What we don't want to do is to, how do I say this? Encourage the person who has this generator to put it inside, because now we are at risk for carbon monoxide poisoning. So can't say, hey, put it inside to dull the noise, but we also have to take care of this problem. So I'm working with the Caroline County State Attorney and the Caroline County Social Services to try to supply some resources first. But we are in conjunction with, if it continues to issue civil citations, for the noise. But we have to have a decibel meter and be there to see if it exceeds. So I just don't want anybody, to think I'm just, blowing everybody off. It is a process, so I will be looking online for a decibel meter to have for the PD, and we'll start there.
Those decibel meters. Training and there's very, 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 very few police agents in the state of Maryland that have it.
That's correct.
Wouldn't get a high hopes on getting one.
Well, and there were a few calls made to social services about the child that's in that house.
Yes,
so-
yes, thank you for the reminder. When I called the supervisor, she said that several calls have been made. I don't know if it got anywhere because obviously the kid is still there, so I brought up the issue to her personally, and she will forward it to the central complaint, and then it'll trickle down. So it is being worked on. I wish I could say that it can happen overnight, but it's gonna take time, but I made my voice heard and the safety issue and all the stuff, so hopefully we'll get somewhere. If we do happen to go out there, they'll probably bring me with them. Just as a police officer, not to intimidate them, but to be there, because I'm the one that fielded the complaint and forwarded it, so that has been worked on. I think that's all I got.
Any questions for the chief? Anything, chief? Very good.
All right, just, we've been pretty busy, there was a lot of code enforcement grants that we ended up having to go back and actually cut. We did bulk pickup, brush pickup, everything went pretty smooth.
Do you have any idea how much tonnage you took down there? Stuff you took it off pickup? Do you get weighed?
The bill hasn't been
Oh.
on that.
I'm just
We
curious.
paid readings for the dumpster and then we paid the landfill. The pump for East Lift Station is in, Freemeyer called today, they got it sitting there. They're looking, probably turnaround time for them to come put it in about 2 weeks. He said, but if something happens where it goes down, then he will make sure that he puts it to the top of the priority. Not gonna get everything been going pretty smooth. Our biggest thing, and I gotta give a shout out to the volunteers and to Public Works Group, was for the car show. We had over 250 cars registered. If nobody came out for the music fest portion, they missed a heck of a show. The day was very, very busy. As Tammy stated, we ended up with monetary donations of $24,600, but then that was about 50 sponsors. We also had about another 20 sponsors that did in-kind donations for us to be able to raffle some stuff off. So we had a little over 70 sponsors, so couldn't have done without everybody's help. And a lot of hard work. Shout out to my wife because
Is it,
it's a lot tiring.
is it possible to post a list of those that sponsored the event?
Amanda's already working on that.
They were doing lives too and stating the
Yeah,
names.
throughout the entire, because, I mean, without the sponsors' help, none of that would have been possible. One thing, that I do want to stress on, with Whoville coming up, we need volunteers. We need people to help, I think they were talking about needing some characters help, this year. There's, some people that have either retired or have moved on, or gotten older and are not able to do it anymore. So if anybody has any young kids or.
We need a Santa and Mrs. Claus.
Yeah. If not. Yes.
Brandon and Katie.
Santa,
So.
just bring your beer, wait. I can't try to.
we have-
You know the way.
But, But that's the biggest thing. We need volunteers, for that.
Maybe you reach out, you know, what you need volunteers for, like, you know, if you need a bridge or.
Well, I sent a message, but, basically, that's Amanda's baby, so we'll let her, but I do want to stress about the volunteers because, you know,
But if somebody has free time that wants to help put all that aluminum and the lights, cause I've helped hang that light out there. That's a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just the alley they take you around.
Well, we're gradually going to rope lights to
So the rabbits
try
don't
to
even,
reduce
So
the
the-
rabbits from eating.
well, we found out, it wasn't really the rabbits, it was field mice.
well, they're all tall field mice. You find that pole, that's the one anything.
Yeah.
No, they did.
But, and I just want to say, because, Tammy touched on it, but the September 9th is when the voting starts for the best of the best. It's actually a pretty good honor that our events were acknowledged by the community, to be even considered top 5 throughout the Eastern Shore, so. That's about it.
We can add that, the, volunteers from the recovery house over here. I've been to several events and they have been a huge help. So whoever recruited them, thank you, because there's 3 or 4 of them that are there every time. They're very interesting.
So one of the things we learned in class the convention, is that sometimes if you need volunteers, you just need to ask. People are right there waiting, but if you don't ask, they're not gonna volunteer. So that's why I say, reach out and look at people. And one thing you talked about, the grass, all grass cutting, so I get a lot of complaints about that. When people get a letter from us, so Amanda, to her credit, took it upon herself, and now she's calling somebody first and trying to reach out to them, and hey, you know, your grass is getting a little tall, you know, it's bubble limit, and that's working very well, been very receptive, so we don't have to send that threatening letter that, you know, in the letter, we had to draw it up from our attorney legally, so if we do have to go and cut the grass, we have to meet the hoops so we don't get sued. So anyway, if you get a phone call, we started that process, and I think it's a great idea, and it seems to be well received. So kudos to Brent, Amanda, she's not here today. Right, moving right along, Brent, and then you told her, fire company. Okay. All right, so
Well,
we're
I
gonna.
can speak on the fire.
Have
Fire company's got the tractor pull this weekend, weather permitting, everything. So far, it looks like it's gonna be. Not good, yeah. I got a phone call, told her to go that are saying that, that it's
Yeah.
changed and that,
percentage is real low.
yeah, so. You guys are looking for something to do.
Yeah, the other ones
The other one got canceled.
They need to have this one. One of the times. Okay, all right, on to public comment. So, Mr. Shafer, you signed it, you still need to speak?
Yes, I do.
Come forward, please.
Got 4 items, which is a lot for me. I didn't really have that many. But over the years, it's been readily apparent that one of the concerns is that the citizens of the town feel like, rightly or wrongly, that they don't always have enough information. I believe all of you have heard that more than once. So I have a couple of suggestions that you could consider. One, just as an example, is when we apply for grants. Would be nice if the grant application and the grant submission be made available to the town office for people that would like to go and get a copy of it. Helps keep them informed as to what's going on, what's being done, what's not being done. I would also like to suggest that any reports that are made, that the citizenry get copies of them. I doubt there's anything confidential in there, but if there is, that can be redacted before the copies are made. And that will make us know a little better what's going on. Sometimes not so easy to understand, because a report's been given to you guys, we don't know. But I think it would be a good idea if those reports are made available. Whoville, if the people that are in charge can make a list of what's needed volunteer wise and get that to the town office. There's people that are, Pastor Doug has a youth group. I have part of a youth group at Denton Nazarene Church. Other churches have youth groups. And they might love to take a part in doing that, but they don't know. They don't know what's needed. Like you said, if you don't get asked, you don't know.
Well, one thing I will say, Mr. Bill, just as a clarification, when he's talking about some of the actors, for example, like the Grinch, that's pretty much a month-long commitment. You can't have a different Grinch each time.
So you just say that.
Just so you, I know, but just so you understand
No, I
that,
understand.
it's a big commitment.
I'm not pretending to understand what all the requirements are, but that should be on that list. For this volunteer needs to be able to, commit to a month. Commit to a week, commit to whatever, but if you don't know, and like I said, you don't ask, you don't get. Right, so I would suggest that also. And then as far as the noise ordinance, question is it just one generator that seems to be creating the complaint? And if you're gonna consider writing a noise ordinance, consider putting in there if you can, that the generator maybe not be moved inside because it's dangerous, but it could be put in an enclosure, which would substantially reduce the noise. So those are,
Thank you, Mr. Bill. Your clock went off.
okay, I guess I'm done then. That should
Thank
be
you.
enough to keep you busy for a while.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We'll try to get some answers. for you. All right. Donna, go ahead.
Tammy has already answered some of my questions for me, but I just want to let you know that we got the plans for Kenneman Meadows in back of us. So we went out and we measured their lots. And my neighbor and I disagree as to where the property line will be. So Tammy knows about that. Kenneman Meadows has already claimed their 10 feet of our paper alley. The attorney, I think, was supposed to look into what we needed to do, but I never heard back. This line won't leave me alone. What we needed to do, to get the paper alley. But right now, we're disagreeing with where that back property line may be. But I'm glad that they're going to be building on the other side of the road, because I wouldn't want any construction going on our side until that back property line is established.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Carly, did you have anything further for her, or you can send to her?
Yeah, so we've discussed at the past few meetings that the status on the paper alleys is the same as we've said, that the town relinquished control over or any rights to alleys that they never accepted control over. And the status, I'm working on just going through and identifying all of the paper alleys that were identified in that resolution from the 90s. That's still in progress. And anyone who is interested in quieting title on paper alleys that abut their property, they are welcome to pursue a quiet title action, to quiet title and establish that their property extends into the paper alley. If there's questions about property lines generally, that's really not within the town's role. That would be something that you would hire a surveyor for. A land surveyor could look at the property lines on individual properties.
So where would she go, Carly, to acquire the title that you spoke of with circuit court in Benton?
Yep, that's a Caroline County Circuit Court action.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Y'all set? All right. So, Paula Turner, for everyone who doesn't know, we all know Invisible Fence pet containment systems, right? The dog has a collar that responds to the underground wire. When the dog goes over the underground wire, it gets a shock, but eventually with training, the dog learns to stay within the perimeters of the invisible fence. The dog first learns its boundaries because they are marked with flags. The dog can see the flags and learns to avoid the shock. Most often, a dog learns after just one shock. Well, as a resident of Greensboro, I feel like one of those dogs wearing a shock collar inside of an invisible fence. Unfortunately, I've not been able to determine where the invisible fence is. When we do nothing, we get shocked. When we ask for transparency, we get shocked. When we help the paid and unpaid servants of our town balance budgets and suggest a better way to do business, we get shocked. However, none of you have to wear a shock collar. I moved to Greensboro in 2016, feeling proud to have become a homeowner, the first in my family. I showed my then young daughters that hard work and perseverance, what it can accomplish. I'm now in a chapter of my life where I can be more involved in my community and lobby for the changes that our town desperately needs. I attend meetings, I speak to the room, I even emailed a town employee a priority list that I had personally compiled by speaking to many other residents, along with suggestions for town events. I got shocked. I make the town office aware of happenings in the community. I get shocked. I post on social media to bring awareness to residents that don't come to meetings. I get shocked. I say, I do nothing, and I get shocked. The level of dysfunction in this town runs deep and I believe has contributed to the mismanagement of the taxpayers' money. It has allowed for a lack of transparency and a lack of common courtesy to the people that have employed and or appointed each one of you. Is this dysfunction a result of greed? Is it that you are not being given the pertinent information to make informed decisions? Is it that you are being bullied by your peers or counterparts? Or are you just scared of getting shocked? Our town deserves outside of the box thinkers and strong, selfless leaders. I beg that if you cannot be that for us, that you step down, you resign, you take the steps necessary to get the formal training to do your job effectively. I stand here tonight, united with many other stubborn dogs. We will not stop pushing for the changes that we want to see for the present and future residents of Greensboro, Maryland, no matter how many shocks we have to take. I have written this statement not out of resentment or spite or anger, but out of a deep desire to present an urgency
All right, your
for
3 minutes
real,
is up.
meaningful change in my town.
Thank you. Mr. Mason. You're a yes, maybe.
Yeah, well,
He's always a yes.
I, think so. So after last Friday, I had a meeting with the attorney, the town manager. I'm hoping that what I would like to see from council, mayor, town manager, town in general, there's a big push of working with the citizens and so forth. On a positive note, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see some kind of business plan or something from you guys, mayor, council, town manager, whatever, going forward, like how we're gonna use either extra money in like the budget, police, whatever we do with that situation. I think the town attorney that I spoke to at one point, don't want to take words out of her mouth. Splash pad's kind of a waste of time, money, it's always down, Federalsburg, it's a disaster. What amenities are coming, how we're paying for them, is everything gonna be grants, are we putting up stuff, are we getting loans? I would make those loans available as far as like people can see them, like what we're applying for, things like that. The biggest thing is I think that going forward, like I said, I would like to see some kind of, whether it be 2-3 year business plan from you guys, what you guys plan on doing, with the rest of your tenature, or 1 year, 3 years, whatever you guys are in here for. So I think it would just give citizens a little bit of comfort, information of where, you guys stand on issues or amenities coming to the town, or like your agenda for the people, whether it be, again, swimming pool, walking trail, where's it gonna be, like just kind of a general overall plan that, or, what we're gonna use money for. Whether that be pay off loans or, just like a 2-3 year plan. I mean, you guys can come up with that, work with the town attorney, the manager, see what's in the budget the next couple of years. Granted, we don't wanna go through the whole budget thing again, but, but yeah, I mean, when you guys develop that budget, maybe set aside money or whatever we can to different things. I think a lot of people would like to see, with the dwindling of the police department and things like that and extra funds, I mean, I think we can all agree that times are tough, and I think there's money in the budget if we crunch the numbers. I think everybody in town's, trash bill could be paid by the town. Well, it's actually our money anyway, but I think that money's there, and I think it's something, a viable option to look into. And I'm only saying that because of rising costs of everything else, inflation, plus the $30 water bill increase that we just had, that's gonna be going into effect, so. Something to look at. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Kevin. You need to speak?
Yeah. So it come to me that Mr. Mason here thinks that I'm getting a free ride on my building permits. I built, 7 homes in town here. And I'm getting a free ride on my building permits. I can show you anything you want to see, sir. And by the way, just so you know, when you buy a building permit from Tammy or Jamie, I deal with Jamie, because I don't go to my wife, because if I go to my wife, it makes it look like I'm doing something I ain't supposed to be. My wife probably has never stole even a piece of candy, sir, so please don't call her a thief. That really upsets me. But Anyway,
Well,
And the rest of
since
these-
you're
rest of these-
addressing me, I will address that. The rumor is flying around town and I brought it to the attorney's attention. So
Why
get
didn't
your
you ask
facts
me?
straight.
why didn't you ask me?
I don't even know who the fuck you are
You
until
do now.
tonight.
Excuse me, this is outside the scope of public comment. This isn't a question and answer between citizens. So, Mr. Parks, you can proceed.
So anyway, what I'm saying is,
Do not address
when you
me.
buy a.
Don't
when
address
you-
me.
I am
Do not
addressing you,
address
and
me.
when you.
If you're gonna address me, I'm gonna fucking address you.
Well, address me.
I'm just letting you know. If you're gonna address me, I'm gonna address you.
You don't,
So what I'm saying is, I don't steal,
I mean, you should be fucking.
and he should know because somebody's watching this, you can tell him. When you buy a permit, the county's paid, the inspection agencies are paid, and I don't know what else is paid to go with all that. But I know I paid dearly for a permit, but it's cheaper than in the county, because the county's a lot higher. I'm just telling everybody in here that I'm not a thief, and I don't appreciate it. And I don't appreciate people calling my wife one. And if he wants to be the mayor, I won't even understand this, the way he talks to them 3, 4 people up there.
I think he's out there.
It's gonna be right here and he'll watch it. So when he addresses himself as mayor or councilman, you know what that does? It gives me the right to talk to him the way he talks to them. And I guarantee you, when he does that, I'm gonna make him see exactly what them people right there go through. They work every day, every one of them work every day, except for Dave, he's retired, and why he retired, I don't know, but anyway, he retired. Every one of them folks up there work every day, and they do the best they can. And you're asking them to bend over backwards, to kiss everybody's fanny in this town, when they're paying bills just as well as you all are in this town. Luckily, I don't live in this town, but I can tell you one thing, this town's in better shape right now than it's been in the last 20 years. Your streets are getting fixed. What else do y'all want? I mean, the infrastructure, you're asking for a 3-year plan. The infrastructure can blow out somewhere in this town, and what are you gonna do? Your 3-year plan went away. All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, is anybody left that did not, not on? Right. It's now time for council.
Not saying a word, thank you. No.
Oh, I got some.
Yeah.
Okay, so the month of October, normally my employer, I work for EMS for Caroline County. We normally pay money, each employee buys a shirt or something. And we usually represent breast cancer awareness, and we usually wear either pink or gray or something for the month of October. This year, some of the employees asked, instead of supporting breast cancer awareness, October 15th is a date in October that deals with those that have had a stillborn or a miscarriage. It's basically a day to remember those that we lost. So what we have decided to do is, we actually serve, members of our agency actually serve on the state Infant and Child Fatality Review Committee to review these, to see how these things can be prevented. So our agency is actually they've designed a shirt, it's purple, it's a heather purple, it's supposed to be unisex. I don't think it's very masculine, but I'll wear it for the month. Yeah, thanks. I mean, I wear the pink one, so. But anyway, basically, it's on Custom Ink, it's a link. And what we've done is we always pick a charity when we do the cancer one. So our agency is selling these t-shirts, they're available to the public. Health department's pushing it, we're pushing it. But we've chosen, Aaron's Place, the place that supports our food pantry, as our charity. So whatever money we generate for buying these shirts, and anybody can buy them or wear them, you can buy as many as you want, you can just go on the link and donate, you don't have to buy the shirt. The proceeds are gonna go to Aaron's Place. Aaron's Place, not only supports the food pantry, they have a homeless shelter that they sponsor in the winter months. They also have a lot of mental and social services type activities that they fund, and counseling and stuff. So they deal with the women that are having trouble pregnancies and have gone through this. So they've got their hands in a little bit of everything. So that's a local charity that supports a lot of communities in the county.
So that's what EMS is doing this month, or for the month of October, so. I had them print the T-shirts, the link we can make available on the website, but if anybody's interested in either donating or actually buying the shirt for the month of October, please do so. They support the good cause, and it'll cover a lot of charities. Thanks.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. Ray, have you considered what you wanted?
Okay, so I did go out to the car show on Saturday. I do want to thank Brandon and Amanda and all the other town employees that were out there helping with the event, the police chief. Never been before, that was the first time, and there were so many cars. I mean, I don't know what I'm looking at anyway, all of them look nice to me, so I don't know who won, but the music fest was excellent. If you missed it, it was like your own personal concert, to be honest with you. I mean, they allowed us to go up there close to the stage. I mean, this guy, Trey Landon, he is going to be famous.
Yeah.
He definitely is going to be famous. I mean, we enjoyed ourselves out there. Whether it was 50 people or 5 people, that gentleman told us he's gonna put a show on like it's a full, stadium. And it was really nice. Second thing, Christine, Commissioner Robinson is usually here. She did have a death in the family. That's why she is not here, but she don't miss meetings. So I just wanna let everybody know about that. One more thing, I do appreciate people coming to the meetings. I do like hearing your feedback. But I'll tell you, when I was there Saturday at the car show and I'm walking around, everybody's smiling. Everybody's having a good time. We acted like a town. We get in here, we're fighting each other. Man, we gotta work as one. We have to, we're listening, trust me. I've been on this board before. I've been in your shoes and sat in an audience where the council would not work with nobody. Yep, they will be like, this is how it's gonna be and that's it, and see you later. We are trying to be transparent. We are trying to look at every area outside the box. So please, just be patient with us. I mean, we want to be nice. I mean, everybody wants to be nice. The negativity on Facebook, man, that's getting old. I don't even like Facebook anymore. Because it's always negative. How can we rebuild our town if we stay negative? We can't. I'm just tired of it, be honest with you. I mean, it's negative. No. So I'm just telling you, when you guys talk out there, I'm hearing you, I'm listening, I'm writing it down. I go home, I take it home, I look over it, you know, my wife don't want to hear about it, trust me. Because I talk to her all night long about it. But when you do come here, just be respectful, and we'll be respectful. And that way we can just have a good meeting. I mean, I enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy being a council member, trust me, I would not be one. That's all I have to say.
Will do. Great. All right, so I will.
Can I add one thing, Dave?
Sure.
So the talk of the town cost me $30,000. Because when we put my house on the market down here across from Christina's house, it was on there for, it started out at $299, which I thought was high. Went to $289. We settled the 24th for $250. So I just want everybody to know that's the computer queens and kings and the badasses that's on the computer. You're really killing your own town. You ain't even smart enough to realize it. I'm sorry. but
I would
that's
say,
fact.
it's Little Mexico is coming to town, dude.
Well,
I go to Save a Lot and they get in front of me with a full cart, paying with
I'm
food
not
stamps
gonna
and get out in
disagree.
a brand new Ford Expedition.
I'm not.
Explain that to me how that works.
I'm not part of that part, but I know what the Facebook
All right,
is doing
well,
with the town.
thank you all, for coming tonight. You know, I don't know what to say, but I'm afraid to say anything. Honestly. And that's sad. It really is sad. And for those of you that don't think that we care or don't think that we're trying, shame on you. Because we're doing the absolute best we can. And I'm sorry if you don't think it's good enough.
And we know times have changed and we've tried to adapt to those changes, but
I don't know what else to do.
if you're gonna be negative all the time, it just breeds negativity. So, I know a lot of you lived in this town, David's lived in this town for a long time. I've lived in here a long time. Joe's been here, Pete. We wouldn't be here if we weren't concerned about what goes on in our town. So. Plain simple fact.
All right, I look for a motion to adjourn and to go into closed session to discuss a personnel matter.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, so the motion and the second is to adjourn the regular meeting, go to closed session.
I missed who made the motion. Sorry, it's hard to tell. Can you repeat who motioned and seconded?
And Commissioner Noon second.
Thank you.
Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you all for coming.
Only take, how long you for the best thing?
You're right.